how do you feel? Because we know it's a tough loss for you, but just what's going through your mind?
What just happened? Like, what did I get hit with?
Pro boxer Tszyu suffered a horrific defeat against Bakram Murtazaliev in just 3 rounds, which may be one of the biggest upsets in boxing this year. Tszyu has suffered severe head trauma, due to which he was not even able to remember what happened in the fight, and it was even difficult for him to recall whether he had reopened a cut from his previous fight.
Does that unnerve you at all when you obviously thought you may have reopened that wound at all?
Can't recall.
Yeah, Timmy, just on that, it felt like when you got buzzed early that you kind of maybe lost your feet a little bit and just had to fight on instinct after that point?
Can't recall. Honestly, can't recall.
Meanwhile, professional boxer Caleb Plant said that a loss is a part of boxing, and Tim has the ability to come back. Caleb was of the view that Tszyu would spend time with his family and recover from this devastating defeat.
Caleb, not the result Tszyu would have wanted tonight. What did you make of that?
Just, tough night in the office. It's part of boxing, and a lot of highs and lows in the sport. And, sure, he'll go home, spend some time with his family, get his thoughts together, and re-up, come back.
Even though Caleb was devastated at the loss of Tszyu, he said that Tim can get back up multiple times after being dropped, and he has proven that in his previous fights. On the other hand, Caleb Plant shared that he hasn't seen enough of Bakram to suggest whether he can go up against the best at 154, which includes Crawford and Errol Spence.
Last one, Bakram, how can he go at 154? Can he beat the guys like Crawford, Spence, Charlo?
I've seen a little bit of him, but I haven't seen enough. Obviously put on a great performance tonight, and he's earned himself some big fights.
Undefeated IBF super welterweight world champion Bakram Murtazaliev dropped former world champion Tszyu 4 times on his way to a 3rd-round stoppage in the main event of PBC Championship Boxing on Prime Video. Murtazaliev explained exactly how he was able to batter Tszyu in the ring when he shared, "We just worked on these combinations all the time, and when the fight came, it was automatic. We worked for 10 weeks on those punches that hurt him. We created opportunities, and we believed that we could win this fight." Bakram knew that he was going up against a very tough opponent, so he was prepared to take him down. Murtazaliev said, "When I landed that first big shot, I knew how hard it was. Tszyu is a real warrior, and I hope one day we can work together and spar and help each other to grow." Moreover, Tszyu had praise for his opponent Bakram and explained what happened to him in the ring. Tim commented, "Every time I step into the ring, I leave it all in there. Things didn't go to plan, and the better man won tonight. No excuses. After the first shot, things started not going according to plan. That's part of boxing. You get hit, and reactions get slower. Bakram is the man at 154. On the other hand, former boxer Sean Porter was really excited for the Tim's fight with Murtazaliev. Sean said that this fight has a really high selling point, since Tim is an exciting fighter and he can win easily.
I like it. I like it for Tim, and I like it for boxing. The reason why I like it for Tim, I think it's a fight that he's gonna win. I like it for boxing because I think it's gonna be action packed, and I think that for me, when you have 2, for the sake of words, foreign fighters fighting on Prime, fighting on American soil and all those sorts of things, you need something that's gonna sell people why they should watch this fight. I would tell everybody watch this fight because it's going to be action-packed.
Sean Porter revealed that Tim would be having a special plan to defeat the Russian Bakram. Porter claimed, "I think Tim boxes in this fight. He sets up Bakram, and I think Tim's going to have some special timing on fight night. I don't know if Tim is going to knock out Murtazaliev. I do believe I know that that's their plan for Tim." Sean further commented on Bakram as a fighter when he said, "If Murtazaliev were to emerge as a winner, he takes a big leap into fighting the top dogs out there. And for Tszyu, it's about reclaiming where he was before Steady wins the race for this one, for Tim." It's no wonder that Sean Porter was spot on with his comments on Murtazaliev's team to knock out Tszyu, because that is exactly what they did. Additionally, Tszyu's brother Nikita threw in the towel midway through the 3rd round after Australian boxing's golden boy was sent crashing to the canvas 4 times. As Tszyu pondered the fallen world champion's next move, No Limit boxing boss Matt Rose said the 29-year-old Tszyu's health and welfare must come first. Matt stated, "Most importantly, he's woken up okay. Probably more than anything is the mental process of going back what happened last night. Physically, he's a lot better today. Obviously had a concussion last night, but he went to hospital. We wanted him to go for precautionary reasons. He was okay from that point of view, so he'll rest up for a couple of days now. Once he gets back to Australia, we'll do some more testing to make sure he's okay." The most important thing when you're in fights like that is to ensure you do the right checkups. Furthermore, Tszyu was devastated at his loss and shared that he never knew what hit him. This may be a perfect example of when things don't go according to plan. Tim had words of support for his opponent and shared that his training was phenomenal, putting the outcome aside. Tim commented, "It was a little bit different. I felt unbelievable. I'll be honest with you, felt unbelievable. I had a great prep, so you got me, man. And he was a better man on this night, and we live and we learn." Veteran combat sports journalist Peter Battle, speaking on Main Event post-fight, felt Tszyu was a little bit arrogant early on. Battle said, "I don't think he earned the right in this fight to dominate. He just thought he could walk him down. To me, when he fought Mendoza, he took his time with Mendoza. He was watchful early, and then in the third or fourth round, he started to apply the pressure. But in this fight, he tried to almost bang early. This is a devastating loss for Tim Tszyu." Furthermore, boxing legend Sean Porter added on what Tszyu should have done in his fight with the Russian. Porter commented, "The body language of Tszyu was very arrogant. They should not have tried to fight fire with fire. I felt like moving and turning and using the jab would have been the right thing to do." Terence Crawford was a long-term target of Tszyu, and he predicted the Australian's demise beforehand. The Australian Tim Tszyu was hit with a left hook on multiple occasions, and Crawford wrote on X, "Tim better change up that game plan and start moving his head coming in." Then, after the result was decided, Crawford mocked Tszyu by stating that he was right on the money about changing that game plan. Crawford also suggested Tszyu believed Murtazaliev to be an easy opponent, writing, "Tim thought he had an easy one, took this dude lightly and was worried about other fighters." Meanwhile, Bakram Murtazaliev openly called out Charlo, Spence, Fundora, and Crawford for a fight at 154 pounds. He said that it doesn't matter who his next opponent will be, as he wants the victory regardless.
Any interest in fighting Jermell Charlo?
Да, я говорю, мне без разницы, с кем драться. Если же не получится договориться, у кого есть пояса, мы будем выбирать из более лучших доступных бойцов. Поэтому будет это Чарло, будет это Crawford, будет это Fundora, Spence, не имеет никакого значения. Приоритет.
During the fight, commentator Ben Damon was also left stunned after Tszyu first hit the canvas and was dealt a shocking defeat. Ben added, "That first left hook was a monster. I don't know how he got up. A monstrous upset for Murtazaliev." And the Russian sends Tim Tszyu to Viridian oblivion. It has been an obliteration in Orlando. Tim Tszyu down for times, and Bakram Murtazaliev retaining his world title in a one-sided beatdown. On the opposite end, Tim Tszyu's father, Kostya Tszyu, was confident that his son was going to win against the Russian Bakram. He said that the win would be far too enjoyable since Murtazaliev is a champion with a world title.
Tell me what you saw up there. How did the boys look?
Something what I wanted. Good challenge for Tim. In terms of he's fighting against good champion, and win is going to be more enjoyable.
Once again, Sean Porter was critical of Tszyu's tactics in the early stages of the fight when he said, "The thing for Tim, he can't fall straight back. He's admiring in his work, which is not good. I don't like Tim's positioning. He's standing too straight. He's not going to be able to get out of the way of these punches." Porter could not believe Tim's failed strategy since he was convinced that Tszyu would win the fight. Sean stated exactly why Tim failed. "What happens when you're like that is you're standing upright. When your legs are bent, you can take the punches a little better. When you're standing straight, it's all head, all chin, and you don't really have anything that can stabilize you from those punches." Tim was falling straight back, and that's a recipe for disaster for any fighter. I just thought he'd be agile tonight. Tim's recent loss to Murtazaliev isn't the only failed bout he has had. Just this year, he lost to Sebastian Fundora, the giant 6 feet 6 inches titan, so that makes 2 losses in a row. Former boxer Chris Algieri believed that this fight was going to be a huge opportunity for Bakram to prove himself in the division. Moreover, Chris shared that he is not an easy opponent for Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much this would be a huge upset. Murtazaliev is actually a very good fighter. He's got a very good right hand. He's fundamental. He's physically strong. He's big. He's tall for the weight class. This is not an easy fight for Tim Tszyu, not a walkover by any means. Just because we haven't heard of him or the boxing public hasn't heard of him doesn't mean the guy can't fight.
It turns out everyone was right about Bakram being a tough opponent for Tszyu except for him. Before their fight, Tszyu responded to Bakram's statement of not wanting to fight him and called it nonsense. Tim continued by saying, "I've been chasing him for a long time. Tough challenge, I guess, but I'm just here to show that I'm levels above." Tszyu's manager Matt Rose said that the No Limit crew are still super proud of their main man Tim, despite his second consecutive loss. Matt commented, "You have good nights and bad nights, and tonight was just one of those things. I don't think it changes anything in regards to who Tim Tszyu is. And if anything, it shows the warrior that lives inside him. He's never going to back down from anyone, and whenever Tim Tszyu fights, he will always show up. From us, we're still super proud. It's just one of those nights." Although Tszyu looked sharp before his fight, which can be seen in his training, he still couldn't upset the Russian. If Tim Tszyu hadn't picked up boxing gloves, he would have been a UFC fighter. That's what he believes, at least. Meanwhile, American MMA artist Rashad Evans talked about this fight beforehand, but leaned towards Murtazaliev, saying, "You know, I think this is going to be a tough one for Tim Tszyu. I think that Murtazaliev is one of those guys who, bangs and hits as well as he gets it, but I feel like Tim Tszyu is going to get the job done." Tim's younger brother, Nikita Tszyu, had also come in support of his brother and said, "Bakram's got a style that's pretty easy. He comes forward a lot. I think Tim will kind of just break him down throughout the rounds." On the other side of the puzzle, Bakram was super excited to face Tim Tszyu, and he showed his admiration for his opponent. Murtazaliev commented, "The best part of fighting Tim Tszyu is that he won't run. He is coming to fight. I love fighting in the center of the ring. It's going to be a great fight for the fans to watch on Saturday night. I'm looking forward to fighting Tszyu because he talks a lot, and he has a famous name in boxing. It really doesn't matter who I fight. My mentality is always the same, and I will fight whoever they put in front of me. I'm just excited to defend my title." Tszyu's mother, Natasha, wants her son to spend time in Russia to undertake a grueling Soviet-style training camp after watching him stray from his trademark methodical boxing against the power-punching Murtazaliev. Tszyu's legendary father, Kostya, was ringside in Florida to watch his son fight live for the first time in 8 years, but asked if Kostya had expressed any interest in taking on a more hands-on role with Tszyu's training. Matt Rose said that wasn't his decision amid calls for the former WBO strap holder to tinker with his entourage. Matt commented on Tim's physical condition before the fight. "That would be totally up to Tim. I don't get involved in the training aspect of things. Obviously, his trainer's training and what they've done has been exceptional right up to this, and I thought, physically, Tim was fine last night in terms of how he turned up." Do you think Tim Tszyu can recover from his loss? We would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.